Okay, we're going to start. Okay, we're going to start working the semester exam review for Algebra 2 so that you can see how we work this out. We have a sequence M defined recursively. It says we define recursively. That's going to be very specific. Remember, recursive definition describes f of n as some expression of f of n minus 1, either multiplied times some f of n minus 1 or added, or a combination of both. And so we're going to look at, this tells us that f of 1 is equal to 7, f of 2 is equal to 5, f of 3 is going to be equal to 3, f of 1 is equal to 1, and f of 4 is equal to 1, and f of 5 is equal to negative 1. And so we can see that it starts with 7 and drops by 2 each time, but for n equals 2, or n greater than or equal to, we can see that our f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 minus 2. It drops by 2 each time. So we take the previous response and we subtract 2 from it to get the next response. And that's what a recursive definition is. It's some function of the previous term. So here, that's the answer for number 1. Here we have f of 0 equals negative 4, f of n equals f of n minus 1 minus 2. Well, that's the same thing we started with here, except for it's a different starting point. Okay? For n greater than or equal to 1, write a definition for the nth term of the sequence. So the easiest way to do it is to see this and see this is dropping by 2. That's going to make this simply a linear function. So if we start, f of 0 is equal to negative 4, and then we can determine f of 1, and that's going to be f of 0, f of n minus 1, and then minus 2. Well, f of 0 was negative 4, so it's going to be negative 4 minus 2 equals negative 6. And so we have 2 points here. We have a point where we have an x of 0 and a y of negative 4, and we have an x of 1 and a y of negative 6. And we can come up with a linear function where we have f of n equals some slope, rate of change, times n, and then plus some other constant, b is what we usually call it. So to determine the slope, remember to find a slope, we do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's going to give me y2 minus y1 is equal to negative 6 minus negative 4 over x2 minus x1. That's going to give me 1 minus 0. This is going to end up being negative 6 plus 4, or negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. So my f of n is going to equal negative 2 times n, and then we've got to figure out what the b is. So the easiest way to do this is to plug in something. So we know that f of 1 equals negative 6, or f of 0 equals negative 4. Let's try f of 0 first. Equals negative 2 times 0 plus b, but f of 0 is negative 4, so that means that negative 4 is b. So f of n, this is for the answer to number 2, is going to be negative 2n, f of n equals, I'm going to scratch it out, start over. F of n, this is for number 2, equals negative 2 times n minus 4. That's the nth term definition of the sequence for number 2. For number 3, we have a 2-part question. It says that the party's going to have these hexagonal tables placed together, space for that. If you got n tables, this is what it's going to look like. You have 1 table, then 2 tables, 3 tables. So this table shows the number of people who can sit. If a person can sit at each of these places, if there was only 1 table, then we could use this side. But since we put another table there together, we don't have this side, so there's 6. All right, we put 2 tables, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at table 1, and then 1, 2, since we don't have 3 tables, we could put some right here, 3, 4, 5, so this would be 10. So we have 3 tables, we can see that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You might guess now, this went up by 4, this went up by 4, this is also going to go up by 4, so we're going to have 18. Then we're going to go up by 4 again and have 22. Now it says to define this recursively and for the nth term. So we can say for f of 1 equals 6 and n greater than or equal to 2, f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 plus 4. That's the recursive definition. Again, this is a linear series or sequence, so we can take 2 points. I'm going to take the point 1, 6, and I'm going to pick point 2, 10, and we're going to find the slope. And that's going to be 10 minus 6 over 2 minus 1, which is 4 over 1, or 4. So that means our f of n is going to equal 4, the slope, times n plus some b. Now we pick one of the points. I'm going to pick 1, 6, and say that f of 1, f of 1 equals 4 times 1 plus b. F of 1 is 6, we know that, so we get 6 equals 4 plus b. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we get 2 equals b. So we can come back over here and say that f of n is equal to 4n plus 2, and that's our nth term definition. So our recursive definition and our nth term definition, and that's 1 through 3.